Hi, boys and girls. If you took a trip to the zoo, what animal would you want to see? Have you ever thought about visiting the zoo to see an emu? The book I'm going to read to you today is called Edward the Emu. This is Edward, he's an emu. It's written by Sheena Knowles and illustrated by Rod Clement. What can you tell about Edward from the picture on the front cover? Edward looks bored. He's bored with his life at the zoo. And he thinks other animals have more fun than he does. He wants to join them, but he doesn't know how to do that. So let's read to find out what Edward does. Edward the emu was sick of the zoo. There was nowhere to go, and there was nothing to do. And compared to the seals that lived right next door, well, being an emu was frankly a bore. When you say something frankly, you're talking about being honest about what you are thinking or feeling. Edward honestly feels bored being an emu. So that night, when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from his pen and he laughed as he said, "Seals are best, anybody can tell. So tomorrow, I'll just be a seal as well." The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the seals were swimming, and Edward was too. He dived in the water and basked in the sun, and he balanced a ball on his beak just for fun. Do you notice how these two animals are looking at each other? How is Edward a little like the seal? Well, Edward was really enjoying the day, till he overheard someone behind the fence say, "The seals are always amusing, it's true, but the lion's the best thing to see at the zoo." So that night, when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from the pool and he smiled as he said, "The lion's the best, anybody can tell. So tomorrow, I'll just be a lion as well." The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the lions were roaring, and Edward was too. He snarled at the ladies and growled at the men. Life was certainly grand for a lion in his den. Can Edward be a little like a lion? Tell something that's like the lion. Well, Edward was having a wonderful day till a man in the crowd had the gumption to say, "The lion's a beast I shall always detest. The snakes are the things that I like to see best." Reading is thinking, I bet you can predict what Edward might do next. So that night, when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward crept from the cage, and he grinned as he said, "If the snakes are the best things, and that's what they say, then tomorrow I'll just be a snake for the day." Was your prediction right? The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the snakes were all hissing, and Edward was too. He slipped round the rocks. It was magic to see. Then he curled himself casually round a tree. Can Edward be like a snake? Well, Edward was just warming up for the day when he overheard one of the visitors say, "The snakes are impressive, I know that it's true, but the emu's by far the best thing at the zoo." Huh. What do you think he'll do after hearing that comment? "The emu?" gasped Edward. "My goodness, that's me. I'm the thing that the gentleman most likes to see. Not the lions, the seals, the snakes, and the rest. It's Edward the emu he likes to see best." Can you tell the emotion that the author is showing there? That he's excited now? So that night, when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward slipped from the cage and he laughed as he said, "If the emu's the best, then that's easy then. Tomorrow I'm Edward the emu again." His feelings have changed. Edward ran to the place where he used to reside, but oh, what a shock when he clambered inside. He found himself suddenly come face to face with the emu they'd brought to take Edward's place. He was gone, so they got another emu. The emus considered each other a while. Then the new emu said with a shy little smile, "Hello, I'm Edwina. It's nice meeting you. You're the best thing I've seen since I came to the zoo." So Edward the emu tried to be like the other animals at the zoo. Why do you think he did that? And the author gave us a chance to see that the characters can change throughout the story. Did you notice at the beginning of the story he was sad because he wanted to change his life at the zoo? He was bored being an emu. He tried the lifestyle of each different animal. And finally he gets led back to being an emu again because somebody said, "Hey, the emus are best." So take a moment to think about, what do you think the lesson is in this story? What is it that the author is trying to teach you? Jot it down on a piece of paper and share it with me when you get a chance. I hope you enjoyed my story, Edward the Emu. Bye.